The Bills now have 5 straight wins against the Dolphins. The final tonight, 31-10. Welcome into Bills Postgame Live alongside of Bills Hall of Famer Steve Tasker. I'm Maddy Glab. The Bills score more than 30 points tonight, but it's all about the defense in this one, led by 3 backups. It was incredible to see what they did, shutting down one of the fastest offenses in the NFL. Steve, how did they do it?
Well, they churned out some turnovers. They got a good break. They were playing hard on the corners. Tua tried to fit it on the first third down. It ricocheted into it for a turnover. That kind of got things rolling. Then Tua just made a bad throw, and Benford picked it off and ran it up the sidelines. Those 2 turnovers in the first half really gave Buffalo the ability to get out to a 14-point lead. And then the pick 6 late was the backbreaker for the entire game. That was the one that put it out of reach. You could feel, even from Western New York, the air go out of South Florida. Those guys, it was over, 21 points up, and it was just running out the clock the rest of the way.
Running back James Cook had a huge night for Buffalo, 3 touchdowns by him. Let's send it right over to the podium where Cook is speaking to media right now.
Just the preparation that happened over the week. Just a quick turnaround. Got my body together and just prepared myself, and good things happened today.
On the touchdown, the first touchdown, this is a flip pass there. Is that a simple case of the blitz came from that area? That was the open area that you just went to?
No, I would not say the open area I went to. The play was designed for that because we knew that was going to blitz 0. So once the safety came off the edge, it was automatically jump off.
49-yard touchdown. How long is that wide?
Just give kudos to the O-line. They opened up lanes for us to run today, and we did our job, and good turnout.
At what point do you think Somersault
I wasn't thinking. I was just going with my whatever I went through. But I always flipped though, so I just did it.
Only 2 rushing touchdowns last year, but to be used at the goal line, how much of a boost is that going to be for you moving forward that they can trust you in those situations?
Yeah, like you've seen today, just as long as they trust me, I'm going to get in the end zone.
2 wins in 5 days to start the season. What kind of momentum can this team take in?
Just keep going 1-0.
And how did the body feel running back last such a short turnaround?
I was great. Got my body right, and was ready to play.
All right,
appreciate it.
James Cook's 3 touchdowns in the first half ties the most ever by a Buffalo Bill in the first half. Steve, why was he so effective against this defense tonight?
Well, first of all, he's a really good player. Second of all, he got a lot of big offensive linemen up front that are really clearing the way for him. Their running game has been on point in both the first 2 weeks of the season. He ended up with almost 90 yards rushing tonight. Huge rush for carry. Yards per carry as well. He had 78 yards on 11 carries for 7.1 average, and he had the long one at 49 yards as well. But even the shorter runs were really effective, and I thought his yards after contact were excellent. And when the Bills got up on the scoreboard, you knew the running game was going to be a factor the entire game, and the Bills didn't care. They kept handing it off and started racking up the yards, and the game got shorter and shorter. The defense chipped in, even with Terrell Bernard out, Matt Milano out, and all the new faces over there. The secondary played extremely well, keeping Tyreek Hill to one rush, and
Hill had 3 catches
three
for
catches
24
on
receiving
6
yards.
targets for 24 yards. They've got to be kicking themselves. This is not the kind of offense the Miami Dolphins thought they were going to have this year. And I'll bet you there's some soul searching going on in the Miami locker room. This was a beat down by a defense that was crippled with injuries. It's hard to explain. There's no explaining. Now you can say too, short week, yes. The Tyreek Hill distraction, that may carry some weight in this. But no question, this was not the Miami Dolphins team we thought we were going to get.
We need to hit this week's player spotlight. It's presented by Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is the official tablet and sideline technology of the Buffalo Bills. We're giving it to James Cook. Why? Because we have to. With 3 total touchdowns, 1 in the air, 2 on the ground, average 7.1 yards per rush. When a running back averages that much per carry, I know he had the long touchdown, but you have to give a shout out to the offensive line for how they opened things up for running back like Cook.
Yeah, they really are doing an extremely good job up front. Certainly the run scheme has worked. This touchdown that we just saw was virtually a walk-in. And this long run was James Cook slipping through a slight crack in the defense, but he did it without real contact. All he had to do was fit through. Nobody was fighting him. Nobody was there. He just getting by guys. There were no arms to run through, no legs to jump over. He just hopped over the back of his offensive lineman, and then it was a foot race, and his old friend Jordan Poyer couldn't catch him. And offensive line really stepped up tonight. Actually, I'll say this. I think the offensive line is actually blocking better in the run game this year than they have been pass protecting. It hasn't cost them, and Josh is still one of the most difficult. He didn't get sacked tonight. He's the hardest quarterback in the league to sack, statistically. Who cares if they're struggling to pass block, because their passing game still is doing extremely well, and they're really good run blocking.
The Bills allowed a league low 24 sacks last season. If you think about Miami's defensive line, they were one of the best last year. They ranked 3rd with 56 sacks, had the most quarterback hits in the NFL. Christian Wilkins no longer a part of this team. Maybe that's why they've been struggling up front, at least in this game at the line of scrimmage. Jamarcus Ingram, the undrafted cornerback in his 3rd season with the Bills, had 2 interceptions tonight. One of those was a pick 6. He's speaking to media right now.
It's a couple of interceptions. You're the first UB player to record 2 interceptions in an NFL game, one of them a pick 6. Can you reflect on your big performance and kind of the whirlwind that you've experienced over these past 2 weeks and thrust into action?
Oh, man, it's a blessing, to just be in this position. But I would say really just my mindset, every week and every day coming in, preparing and telling myself, that I'll be in position to make plays. I'll be in position to make that play whenever that play comes. I just always tell myself that.
Is a night like tonight everything you ever dreamed of?
Yeah, it's it's a feeling that I don't even got words to describe.
The second one, did you believe that it was coming to you on that play?
Nah, I couldn't. It was just like I was just doing my job, and it just fell right out the sky.
What happened on that play? What exactly did happen there?
It looked like our D-line, they was rushing, real good, and got him off the spot, and he just threw it away. Looked like he was trying to throw it away, and I was just running to the ball and caught it and took it to the crib.
Marcus, you went from Sean mentioned after the game against Arizona that you may not have even been up that day if it weren't for the injury. And to go from that to playing such a central role in 2 wins in the span of 5 days, just what goes through your mind like that quick of a turnaround?
It's a lot, especially getting told, that I might not be up. But my mindset is, preparing like I'm going to play, preparing like I'm a starter, no matter what. But it's still, things that I feel, and it's a lot to, be able to step up in those moments. And the fact that they got faith in me to be able to do that, it's just a blessing to be a part of this organization that I can step up in those moments and make plays.
What's the support been like from your teammates? Obviously talking about the journey, but that sideline was insane when you went over there. What was that like?
Like I said, I don't even really got the words to describe it, but I know I got a group of teammates, that love me, and I love them as well. And, I can't be more blessed and thankful for the organization that I play for, my teammates, and just the position that I'm in.
Walk us through the first interception as well, if you could. Was it just right place, right time?
Yeah, just doing my job. And, CB made a hell of a play on the ball. And just running to the ball, I was able to, come up with that one. So. Yep.
After 2 interceptions, one of those for a pick 6, Jamarcus Ingram says tonight is everything he's ever dreamed of. We have got to cover the last 2 games for this guy because this is an undrafted free agent who came to Buffalo in 2022, made this team off a rookie tryout. Last game, he was thrust into being one of the rotational defensive backs, had a game-saving play against the Cardinals on 4th and 7 with just less than 30 seconds to go in the game. In tonight's game against the Dolphins, Jamarcus Ingram has 2 interceptions. One of those is a pick 6. This is a kid who had no offers coming out of high school, played for 3 different colleges, one of those right down the street at University at Buffalo. Steve, why is watching his play so inspiring?
Well, to see a guy just hang in there and keep chasing it. He wanted to play football. He knew he was physically capable of it. He's a good enough athlete. The question was he going to get an opportunity? And if he did get the opportunity, was he going to be able to make the most of it? He did that. The Bills hung on to him. And through a series of circumstances, much like Joe Andreessen in the preseason getting the unexpected chances due to injury, here he is, same thing, and getting an opportunity to do what he did tonight. A couple of interceptions and the pick 6. I mean, it's unbelievable. The awareness to catch this ball, because there's no doubt Tua was trying to throw that second interception away in the second half early on, and this was the actual backbreaker to go up 24 or go up 31 because of the throwaway that didn't make it out of bounds. The awareness to get underneath that and just take it into the house, really cool. It's really hard to say, or to put into words, how unlikely it is that an undrafted kid not only makes an NFL team, but then gets a chance to contribute and then comes through in the biggest of ways. I mean, there's guys that go their whole. I mean, look at Tua Tagovailoa. He signed a big contract, and now he's injured once again, and his future's in doubt as a football player.
Right.
It goes both ways. You get these superstars that have things snuffed out for them, or seemingly snuffed out for them for whatever reasons, and then you get some guy who just all he needed was a chance. Then he gets he gets the chance, makes the most of it, then gets another opportunity and hits that out of the park. It's a lot of fun to see guys like that play. And I'll say this too, and I retweeted it. Somebody said, Sean McDermott, he's out there with a 6th-round draft pick from Villanova in Christian Benford, a couple of undrafted dudes in the secondary playing corner. His all-pros are all gone. And they're shutting down the fastest, most high-flying offense from a year ago in week 2 of the regular season, getting 3 picks. I mean, Sean McDermott and Bob Babbage deserve a lot of credit for getting the most out of those guys.
We always hear as NFL fans about the 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan and the offense that he leads. You throw a quarterback like Brock Purdy in there, Mr. Irrelevant, they win games. You have a backup running back go in and Jordan Mason, and he has an incredible game. We hear that all the time. What about a Sean McDermott-led Bills defense alongside of Bobby Babbage, who is led by backup players? They go in and their play doesn't drop off. Why is that, Steve?
In fact, it doesn't only drop off, it actually escalates. I mean, you got Jamarcus Ingram and Cam Lewis out there with Rasul Douglas, who is, he's a wily veteran, and he's playing by, he's not an athlete. I mean, there's like 9 guys on the field that can outrun Rasul, but he makes plays as well.
He's smart.
They run a defensive scheme where these guys are prepared, they play fast, they're freed and empowered to make plays. There's no fear in these guys. I mean, you got to think, most of us would be out there just trying to make sure we're lined up right. You'd be walking on pins and needles, not wanting to mess it up for everybody, and these guys are out there empowered, flying around like, it don't matter, let's go. It's an amazing scenario when you really sit down and think about it, how much goes into these game plans and all that, and to have these guys come off the bench and fill in, and then not just fill in, but really dominate some really star players in this league. There's no explanation for it except just it's good coaching, it's desire, it's certainly some physical talent. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to talk about and to see. It's not something we get to talk about a lot.
It's inspiring to watch. Matt Milano got hurt during training camp and has been ruled out for an indefinite amount of time. You have a linebacker, a young linebacker in Dorian Williams fill in his place. Taron Johnson, the nickel cornerback, goes out in the first game of the season. You have Cam Lewis from University at Buffalo down the street filling in his place. And then in this game, you have another player that has to step up because Terrell Bernard goes out with a pec injury, does not return. So Balin Spector steps up. It is so amazing to watch what these backups do when they're thrust into these opportunities. You have a second to react to what's going on. You go out there, you play. They do it at an elite level that speaks to the coaching on this team. Speaking of coach, head coach Sean McDermott is on the podium right now.
To come down here and be down here with this team and on a short week, great team win. So, I thought the important piece was after half, being able to come out and widen the lead was critical for us. James Cook really showed up in a lot of different ways tonight for us, and then the fourth down defense was pivotal. Fans, what else is there to say about the fans? I actually had someone come over during the game and asked me if this was a home game, which is pretty cool, right? Because there's so many Buffalo Bills fans here. So love it, man. Great environment for the Buffalo Bills. Appreciate all the fans making the trip down here. The Tua situation, and it didn't look good, and our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. We want the best for him, and with that, I'll turn it over to you for your questions.
How impressive your defense, losing Teron last week and then Bernard early in the game. How impressive to put on that performance without those two guys.
Yeah, again, next man up. The guys did a great job. Balin Spector knew the game plan, prepared like he was going to start, and the results are the results. And then Jamarcus comes in, again, gets another big play for us, and that's great to see. And these guys work hard, so good things happen when you work hard, and sometimes the ball finds you like that. And again, it was a good team win. So all three phases, it's not about one person, but again, all three phases factored in the win, which is good to see. And still a lot of work to do, but we'll enjoy this playing right home, and the players will be able to get some rest, and some of the coaches as well and staff. So it'll be good.
What's the injury with Terrell?
Don't know. I know what the area is. I just don't know the severity of it yet. So.
Sean, James Cook's touchdown catch up, how well designed been executed?
Yeah, great call by Joe. Well executed. The timing on that. I think they brought pressure on that play, and again, preparation by Joe and the offensive staff, and the players executed.
Good follow-up on James' 2 rushing touchdowns after that. Not that he needed confidence, but what kind of momentum can he carry out this game?
Yeah, again, James just continues to grow and get better. He was one of our captains tonight, and it's well deserved, right? So he's from here, and I know it was important for him to play well, and he's just continuing to grow and develop, and just extremely proud of him.
2 wins in 5 minutes. This is tough slate. How proud of you, this group, to sort of rally?
Yeah, again, we've got a lot of new players and whatnot, and you're never really sure. There's so many unknowns starting a season, and we'd come back the first week of the season and win, and I think that was a step for us, for any team, to be able to say that you can do that, you can play in close games, and then this game, being able to come down here on a short week, to your point, at their place and play like we did. We played our style of football, and I think we've got things to do to work and get some rest, like I said, but continuing to groove our football and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to become.
Sean, the linebacker, and you're already without Matt Milano. Obviously, unsure what Terrell's outlook is, but just what do you see out of that group that helps them prepare for whatever happens next?
Yeah, I think Coach Holcomb does a really good job. and those guys, they want to be coached, they want to prepare, they want to be good, all the way up and down the depth chart that way, and so they realize that they may be a special teams player one day, and then the next day they're asked to play a lot or start, and Balin's a good example of that. All right, thank you guys.
Josh Allen is 11-2 against Miami in his career. He has had his way with this team. He averages, heading into this game, 3.2 total touchdowns per game against the Dolphins. Had a 110 passer rating going into this game against the Dolphins in his career as well. Steve, the statistics are off the chart against this certain team. Why has he had so much success against a division opponent?
I think it's just a matchup problem that he has. I'm certainly going down there, and that it started really, I think, in his first season. At the end of the season, it was the last game of the year. Remember, Charles Clay dropped a winning touchdown pass in the end zone. Josh literally carried the entire team on his back that day. That was the day when Chris Brown and I thought, and Brownie said, "Look at it, we got our guy. That's the guy," and he's been right. Who knows? There's no explaining it, and it doesn't even mean it's going to last long. But there's been a couple of these games. A lot of these 12 or 13 games that we've been in with Miami have been 2 or 3 point games, one possession games, very close at the end. But then there's been
there's been a lot that are,
there's been like 3 of them that have been 30 plus, yeah. And this one was 21. I don't know. I don't know if you can explain why he has success. Certainly tonight was probably his easiest effort. I mean, he threw for a $130 or something, $139.
19 passing attempts.
He had 19. Yeah, he threw for over 66% of his passes he completed, more than that, and he, one touchdown. And that was a swing pass to Cook. He didn't have to do anything. He had one rush. If the Bills can keep this up and not ask the ultimate weapon to actually show up, and all our hopes and dreams are going to come true if that happens, if it continues. They got to stay healthy, no question about it. We saw that tonight with Miami, and in this Miami game with the Bills. You got to have people stay healthy. Like the Dolphins are probably wringing their hands right now over Tua's injury, no question about it. Bills, I mean, if they stay healthy, I mean, they haven't even kicked it into gear yet. They got Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, haven't even been asked to do anything. Josh has had 2 of the most pedestrian passing days of his last 3 or 4 years, and they're 2-0. And it was the Arizona game wasn't that close, really, because of the 96-yard touchdown return. This one wasn't close at all, and it was a defensive effort. I mean, this I didn't know that the Bills would win any games like they have won these first 2 this year, and here we are.
The Bills have won 12 out of their last 13 matchups against the Dolphins. In those games, they average more than 400 yards of offense and more than 30 points per game. Let that sink in for a second. While you let it sink in, we're going to go to quarterback Josh Allen, who's on the podium right now.
He's gotten better. Seems like each week he's getting more comfortable and confident. He's been begging for some goal line runs, and we gave it to him, and he got his touchdown down there, the long one. And then he found a way on that the first touchdown in the first quarter there. So can't be more happier for him and more proud of him. And he just continues to make plays for us.
How does the hand feel?
It's good. Feels great. Yeah.
Can you take us through that pass to Ty Johnson before the James Cook 1-yard run? Like, what happened on that play?
Yeah, I mean, motioned him out there. We motioned Khalil across. Was feeling some sort of zone, progressed it right to left, had a little bit of just movement, rolled out right. I saw the deep safety kind of, jump something underneath. I saw Ty one-on-one with a backer. Felt like he kind of slipped inside. I just gave him a catchable ball, and he went up and made a play.
James Cook touchdown catch on that 4th down. Is there patience required to let him get out the flat?
Yeah, he has to find a way there. We had a lot of trust in him there. I messed up the call, before the timeout. Fortunately, called the same play, and they changed the defense to really the defense that we were hoping to get. so it worked out, but can't be taking timeouts on the first drive. But they went 0. I just gave a little eyes right just to hold some people, and knowing that I got the safety off the edge. He's untouched, and just got to trust Jimbo to go get open there, and he did and made a play.
You went to Dalton 2 of the first 3 plays. Was that by design, or just where the ball went?
Just kind of where the ball went. Different options on different pass plays, and obviously want to continue to get him the ball more and get him involved, especially early in the game. And force defenses to really key in on him. So just kind of how it happened.
You heard on the bench tonight running out of bounds. Was that just the way it worked out?
Yeah, hands are okay though. It didn't fall in the hands. It just comes up quick sometimes on the sideline when you throw it 1 inch up from the sideline. Head on a swivel over there.
What's it like, unfortunately, to see Tua go down like that, another quarterback, and in that way?
Yeah, very sad. That's the worst part of the game. Nothing but love and prayers sending to him and his family, and hopefully everyone's sending those because he's going to need them. And it's the worst part of the game.
Josh, what can you say about the defense for this team? I mean, they're going through it on that side of the ball with some significant injuries, but to hold that offense to 10 points.
Unbelievable job. And lose TB in the first quarter. Balin comes in. He's the green dot. Makes some plays. J-Mark comes in, makes some plays. You look at the stat sheet. I don't know what our numbers were, but I know we were really low in time of possession, and we were probably really low in total yards, but still managed to put up 31 points, and that means your defense is doing something right. So they had our back tonight, and we're going to need them going forward. And I'm just very proud of how guys stepped up into their roles, and they played together. When you play together like that, you're typically going to have good results.
Josh, going off of that, what does it say about this team on a short week to come out and have that kind of complete performance on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, don't blink mentality. Just drop the football. Let's play. Got a lot of faith in the guys that we have in this room. I think it starts with our pass rush. Von Miller had some. He looked like Von Miller tonight. That's what I told him. I mean, he had one spin move. He didn't get there, but one spin move that was pretty scary. And Greg Rousseau out there again making plays. Ed Oliver, you name it. Those guys are straining each and every play, and they're working together right now, and we're holding up at the back end. So it's good to see.
2 wins in 5 days with a lot of unknowns a week ago at this time. What have you discovered about this offense?
Well, it's still early, but I'm very proud of the guys, how they're handling it. The everybody eats approach. We're just trying to find the open guy and get everybody involved. But guys are stepping up to the plate, and they're making plays when their numbers are called. So got to keep working. And, again, tonight's a weird one because you get the ball so close to your end zone, 3 different possessions. It was a 4th down stop. There was 2 turnovers. We got it over there. So, again, it's not going to be eye-popping numbers on the stat sheet, but when you can put up those type of numbers on the scoreboard, that's all you care about. But, again, as time goes on, there's going to be more opportunity for our guys to go make some plays.
Josh, what can you say about the fans walking off the field with your arms up? That's got to be pretty cool to do that not at Highmark Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fun one to play at. Our fans travel very well. They travel very well here. And, we appreciate that. We feed off the energy that they give us. So thank you, Bills Mafia.
Huh? Was there a fan that you told that he had to leave?
No.
Did you like the player at all?
Pre-game, I talked to him a little bit. He's love that guy. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Josh.
With Josh Allen's lone touchdown pass to James Cook in the first quarter, he now passes Dan Marino and Peyton Manning for the 2nd most total touchdowns in an NFL player's first 7 seasons. That number is 225 total touchdowns. We're going to see a boatload more out of the quarterback this season. Before we wrap things up, Steve, we have to give kudos to Von Miller. Because last season he didn't have a sack. This season he starts off with sacks and back-to-back games. He was getting off the line of scrimmage quickly, fast, with burst. What did you see from him in his 2nd game back in the 2024 season?
Yeah, the stat geeks are already flooding social media with his numbers. He was getting to the quarterback in an average of 2.1 seconds.
Wow.
He got he got a sack tonight, but he was getting pressure quick, and it was crucial tonight because the Bills didn't blitz. You were showing me
they
blitzed twice on 2 plays out of the 75 offensive plays that the Dolphins ran. The Bills blitzed twice, so they were really relying on the front 4 to get the pressure on Tua or the quarterback Skylar Thompson as fast as they could, and Von Miller was coming through for it. They got pressure on time. The ball had to come out or the quarterback was going down. The pressure is what forced Tua to have to try and throw it away that led to the interception, the pick six. And, of course, Von got him on the ground once as well. So Von now, he's getting a sack a game. But the consistent pressure and the consistently quick pressure that the Bills were able to get with just 4 guys rushing was critical in this game. And going forward, if they can do that, that's the key to a fantastic defense. When you can drop 7 guys into coverage, you can do so many things, exotic things in the back end when the ball has to come out. And with 7 guys trying to fool the quarterback, it's going to make it really hard for him to discern where to throw the football to. And sometimes you can bait him into some turnovers like they did tonight. There's something about having 7 guys drop into coverage and you still have to get rid of the ball because of the pressure. That's a disaster for an offense.
The Bills start out the 2024 season 2-0. Their latest win against the Dolphins, final score of 31-10. We're closing up shop here. We want to thank you for joining into Bills Postgame Live. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab. We will see you all next week.